New location in Valley State.
Welcome in. Good afternoon. It's the Ticket Punchers here on 96.1 FM, 1450 AM, Big X Sports Radio. I'm your host, Roman Kelly, joined by my co-host, Curtis Phillips, as we take you guys down till 6 o'clock, per usual here on the Big X, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. And there's a lot to get into. It's NBA playoff time. It's NHL playoff time. We've got MLB in action as well. And there's a lot of excitement. Not going to be getting into much Louisville stuff. We do have the transfer portal news, but not anything we can really bet on around that. We're not getting on Kalshi today and betting on recruits coming in or anything like that. So we're going to be looking into the playoffs for tonight, recapping last night's action as well, and looking into the official punches we've had in the last couple of days going forward tonight into our punches as well. So, Curtis, how are you today, sir? How's the Tuesday been treating you? How have the playoffs been? What's been your excitement so far since the playoffs have gotten going?
Yeah, going good, Roman. It's been an interesting playoffs so far. Really just trying to see which teams, are going to be competitive in the underdog role, going on the road. So we saw the Hawks upset last night as well as the Timberwolves, and that's what you want to see out of the first round playoffs. At least make it competitive. So we'll see what happens when these underdogs go back home and how much more competitive they are. But it's been fun to watch. Haven't been way too much in the NBA, kind of just filling things out right now. So, but nonetheless, it's been very fun to watch.
It has been.
I think Roman cut off there.
Already gotten a couple of upsets as well so far in the first round. Lakers technically upsetting with their game one, but we've seen the Nuggets lose last night to the Timberwolves. We've also seen now the Knicks drop one on their home floor to the Atlanta Hawks. This is the parity we talked about throughout this season, Curtis, in particular in those 4 and 5 and that 3 to 6, those 3, 4, 5, and 6 seeds. We knew that there was some potential for some things to get a little bit sticky, I guess is the best way to put it, in the Eastern Conference in particular. I didn't expect to really see it this soon in the Western Conference, but we've got it. And I want to recap what we had last night, Curtis, before we get into the games that we just looked into last night. We both had some punches yesterday. Obviously, with no Monday show, we do get our punches out on the Ticket Punchers Twitter page. We both dropped some plays. I dropped 5 plays, official, technically 6 if you count the Knicks money line. We go 5-1 if you count the Knicks money line. We didn't get that in the official tweet, so a lot of people probably took some of those plays and didn't take the Knicks and maybe made even more money. But 4-1 on the day yesterday, Curtis. We hit the C.J. McCollum 17.5 points. We talked about this privately. We saw that look on his face at the end of game one. You saw what that Hawks offense kind of looked like. everybody in live time, fans, Hawks players, Knicks players, realized in live time towards that end of game one that CJ McCollum's going to be the guy for the Hawks with the ball in his hands in this series, and he took advantage of that in game two. Jalen Brunson I can't even, exposed isn't the right word when you know a player can't defend. He got torched. He got taken out back to the woodshed, Curtis. CJ McCollum had his way in Madison Square Garden last night. Did that surprise you at all?
No, it didn't. Like you said, when you came out and you said you liked that play on CJ McCollum, I loved it. He made a comment in the press conference after game one talking about Brunson doing some little acting when CJ shot the jump shot and kind of, kicked him a little bit. So I had a feeling as the vet on this Hawks team, he was going to come out with a vengeance. So I love that play. And yeah, I kind of did expect it from a guy that knows that's been in the playoffs, and he knows like you don't want to go down 0-2 as the underdog. So just gaining that momentum, he knows he's the guy that can get a shot off the dribble, go one-on-one, and play make for his team. So I love the play, and I wasn't very surprised that he came out and had the game that he did. So
I'm not surprised either when you look at what Jalen Brunson is as a defender. It's just a matter of time before CJ started really picking his spots and getting where he wanted to get against Brunson, and he did so yesterday. We also hit last night, Curtis, the James Harden over 17.5 points, and this goes to allude to that point we just made. Shot creation in the playoffs is a must. Rotations shrink. Your best defenders are on the floor for both teams more times than not. And in the NBA in 2026, we know on the perimeter there is so much size out there that if you don't have a player that can hit tough shots when it's a close game, when it comes down to those end of the shot clock possessions, you really are at a disadvantage. The Toronto Raptors are at a severe disadvantage in that department. They've tried to make some shifts in their offense with Brandon Ingram, running him on those pin downs, trying to get him open and into sets without the ball in his hands and get him in the room and areas on the floor where he likes to operate without having to do that off the dribble. And he's not really buying into that. The Cavaliers are defending that well. And then in the half court, there's just no offensive flow for the Raptors. Cavs take advantage of that. They take a 2-0 lead in this series, and the shot making was on display last night from James Harden and from Donovan Mitchell. Shout out to those two guys doing the job, getting the job done. I'm still kind of going back and forth on just how good I feel like this Cavs team can be. The ceiling is there with the offense. Defensively, at times, it feels like they can get exposed a little bit, having some slower, laterally quick guys out there. But when their coaching staff is connected with its players like that, you do see a flow and you see a togetherness that I believe the Raptors are just not going to be able to compete with in Cleveland. I don't think Cleveland's going to have any struggle getting out of this series in the first round. I honestly am feeling like I got this one wrong, and we're leaning towards a sweep here in this one with the way that they handled business last night, Curtis. But we do hit the James Harden 17.5 points. We missed the Knicks money line because of the end of the game excitement there. Nickeil Alexander-Walker with a big-time steal to go up to. They come down. They get the stop. Jalen Brunson hits a three to keep it close, but they don't hit the shots when they need to, and they get the stops when they need to on the Atlanta side, and they get the job done. Like Curtis mentioned, when you're the underdog team, when you're the team with less of an expectation, and you go down 0-2, Game 3 becomes the biggest pressure situation you've kind of ever had as an NBA player, unless you've been there before in the playoffs. Hawks are not a team that has the experience to go down 0-2 and be able to handle that. I mean, even if you win Game 3, it's still you're battling back for 2 full games, having to play a different game plan and a different mindset. You just like to avoid those in the first round if you can. Hawks avoided it, seeming like the series could go the distance potentially. We hit the Aaron Gordon 6+ rebounds as well. I mean, just with the rotation that the Timberwolves run, I like Aaron Gordon to kind of take advantage of a lot of these matchups. You're going to see a lot of minutes with Julius Randle at the 5. You're going to see just a good chunk of the game in which you're not going to have a Rudy Gobert out there. It's clearly been something that Aaron Gordon has taken advantage of just in the rebounding department, kind of finding those spots and then making good plays as a passer in those areas as well. He goes 7 rebounds, so just 1 over. I think he had 8 that they took 1 away at one point. But we cover that. Just not enough size out there from the bench with the Timberwolves when they are combating with the size of the Nuggets. We cover the Aaron Gordon. And then in the NHL, we go 2-0 last night. Carolina Hurricanes, in a sweaty one, do cover the money line for us. And then the Dallas Stars, kind of a similar situation there last night for a moment in that game as the Wild do take the lead in the first before the Stars equalize. They win 4-2. Hurricanes win 3-2, and it took 2 overtimes for them to get the job done there for us. But great night for us on the Ticket Punchers with a tweet of our official punches, and we're going to be excited to get some punches out tonight. Curtis, we still got you here in the chat?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you. Let's look into last night's NBA action before we kind of predict what we had tonight. As we mentioned, Cavaliers beat the Raptors. That was expected. They cover. Hawks don't. I mean, the Knicks don't cover as they lose outright. Nuggets don't cover as they lose outright. Does that kind of make you a little bit weary about the game twos in the Western Conference tonight? I guess not necessarily in the Western Conference, but Celtics 14.5-point favorites, Spurs 12-point favorites, and Rockets back to that 5-point favorite line with Kevin Durant being in the lineup. Do you look into how any of the other game one series has happened when you look into the game twos happening tonight, Curtis?
Honestly, not really. I think the Trailblazers can possibly play the Spurs tough, but in first off, start off in the East, I do think Celtics take care of business. I do think this will be a sweep. Obviously, the 76ers going to be playing their hearts out. Game 2, they don't want to go down 0-2 and going back home. So, I mean, obviously, they'll have everybody ramped up for that, but I just think Celtics are going to be too much. Like I said, I think Blazers can kind of keep it close. They was within striking range versus Spurs the first game, so I could see them being close there. And then, yeah, obviously you see the 5.5-point spread with the Rockets and Lakers with KD being back. I still lean Lakers to cover that. Obviously, LeBron knows he has to kind of go all out with Kennard basically being your number 2 there. I think Rockets can win that game, but I do think Lakers keep it close in that one. So,
yeah, I think I like the Lakers to cover the 5.5 points here. I think it kind of comes down to the wire in a close one. But first official puncher of the night is in this game, Curtis. I like the over 207.5. I think that with KD being back tonight, the pace of play does get ramped up for the Rockets a little bit as well. I also just see the pace of play for the Lakers. They're going to try to combat that. They're going to want to play fast and not allow any of that size to stop what they do well in the half court. If they can get into their half court sets quickly, let LeBron kind of pick his spot and let plays unfold from there. Even with KD being back, I like the Lakers' chances of scoring a good amount in this game. The over-under moving up from 205 to 208 and then back down to 207 and 208, kind of tinkering in between there, depending on where you look, is a sign I do think it's going over. You're seeing a lot of money coming in on that over. They had to raise it. We're on that 207.5, Curtis, for our first official punch in this one. You think the Celtics cover the 15 points in that first game tonight?
I lean towards it. I just think Celtics offensively and defensively are just too much for the Sixers team without Embiid, as we know. So I love them on both ends of the floor. I do lean towards them to cover. I wish I would have. I liked them the first game to cover, but I didn't take it ultimately. But yeah, I do lean them to cover as well.
I see. Here's my weird part about this game is that I don't think the 76ers have it defensively to combat with the Boston Celtics offense, but I think the 76ers can be better offensively. I don't think you're going to see another game in which they don't eclipse the 100-point mark. I think they can cover this 14.5 points because you're going to come out gunning. There's going to be some adjustments. They're going to try to put Maxey in better situations to get more clean looks. 8 for 20 from the field for Maxey in game 1. I don't think Maxey has another game like that with that level of efficiency. I don't think the 76ers win this game, but I do think they cover that 15 points. However, Curtis, we're playing the Andre Drummond rebounds again in this game. We covered the rebounds in game 1 with this line. We covered him in the play-in game with the 76ers and the Magic. We didn't take him in game 1. I wanted to see what the minutes kind of looked like for him. But we're going to probably rock with Andre Drummond on the 8 rebounds again tonight here in this one. I think they're going to try to keep some size on the floor, on the interior for them. I don't think you're going to see as many minutes for a couple of these guys for the 76ers tonight because they've got to adjust. Give me Andre Drummond on the 8+ rebounds again tonight for the 76ers in that 7 o'clock matchup. That's going to be my first official player prop punch for tonight. Curtis, you got any player prop punches for tonight in the NBA?
Yeah, I do also in that same game. First, I'll piggyback off your Andre Drummond play. I do like that. I do think his minutes will increase, especially if the Sixers play this a little bit closer than they did the first game. And he's gotten a little bit of foul trouble last game in the first half. Had two or the first half,
and still got 5 boards.
Exactly. So they kind of went over to Bona. So I do think they'll need his size and presence. So I do love that play. My play will be on the other side. I like Derek White. His under 24.5 points, rebounds, and assists at -115. And simply, he just hasn't been involved in the Celtics offense like we've seen in prior years. He's only hit this 2 of the last 13 games. So, and he hasn't really came close in a lot of those. So I think obviously the blowout factor, if this is a blowout, that kind of helps that factor as well. He shouldn't see around the 36, 37 minute mark. If it tends to be a blowout, he'll be more in that 31, 32 minute range. So I love Derek White to not get to the 25 points, rebounds, and assists mark. That will be my only official punch in the NBA.
Only official punch in the NBA. Curtis keeping it easy for the NBA props for tonight. I've got one more for tonight, Curtis. I liked what I saw from De'Aaron Fox in game 1 over the Trailblazers. In particular, I thought the effort was there defensively, which is what they needed from him. But he was moving that ball around like a magician, getting by his man, getting those dump-off spots. He had 8 assists in this game, and watching it, there were 2 or 3 plays where he could have easily had 10 or 12 assists in this game. And they didn't move his lineup. They said they have him at 5.5 assists again tonight. I think he gets to that 6 assist mark again in this one just because he doesn't have to be that scoring threat with the matchups that they've got out there. You've got Drew Holiday out there on the perimeter. You've got Scoot Henderson, who's been buying in defensively. Fox has been that distributor for the Spurs in the last handful of games, and I think that continues tonight in this one. I kind of see him being the lead assist man in this game altogether between the two teams, which you can get great odds on. I saw because, Curtis, of the prop that you get from Drew Holiday due to the assist number he had in the last game. I can't find it here, of course. I looked at, I thought I saw a +700 on De'Aaron Fox to be the lead assister in the matchup. But we're going to take De'Aaron Fox official over 5.5 assists, 6+ assists on the evening at -140. I like De'Aaron Fox to cover that, be well over that, honestly, again tonight. I think he gets over the 8+ if you want to play a little plus money there. But that's going to be my second official player prop punch for tonight, combining the De'Aaron Fox 6+ assists with the Drummond 8+ rebounds. I don't necessarily have anything else I love on the team props, Curtis. I feel like the Celtics can cover, but I'm not playing that. I think I like the over in that Celtics 76ers game just because I feel like the 76ers score more points. If I believe they score more points and I believe the Celtics still handle business, then there's no reason for that over 217.5 to not hit. But you know that they're going to come out with that intensity. You know they're going to try to come out with that edge defensively. And I worry that first quarter may be a little bit slower paced than we want it to be for that 217.5. So we're not going to be playing that. And I have no telling on this 220.5 for the Trailblazers Spurs. I think the Spurs can cover the 10.5 points. We've already seen some weird stuff happen in the West. I'm going to stay away from that. We don't need Denny Abdia going crazy and then messing up our 10-point spread there. So we're just going to play the Lakers over in those 2 player props for tonight in the NBA for our official punches. Outside of the NBA, Curtis, what do you have for us tonight?
Yeah, going all MLB right now. Let's not add any plays here, but as we know, it is Dinger Tuesday. I have two home run props for you guys. So first one, Matt Olson for a home run at +420. He's hit a home. He owns the Nationals. He's hit a home run in 6 out of the last 10 games versus the Nationals. Had a home run versus them yesterday. Almost hit 2. James Wood robbed him of a home run, but he's been on absolute fire anyways. And it's not great weather in Washington, D.C., but he's one of those power guys that could still make a home run happen. So him at plus 420, I love that. And then I'm also going to take Kyle Raleigh. Forget his odds. I had his 50% boost on FanDuel that got it boosted up to around plus 480. But Jacob Lopez pitching for the Athletics. He's 2 for 2 lifetime. Both of those hits being home runs. He got off to a slow start this year, but this guy hit 60 home runs last season, and he hit a home run his last game. So I think he's about to get things ramped up. So Kyle Raleigh and Matt Olson, I love both of those guys for a home run. As far as my official punches go, we'll start off with Cardinals and Marlins over the 8.5 runs at minus 115. I took this same bet yesterday. It did not hit, landed right at 8. But it also started real slow. I don't think there was a run until the fourth inning there. So offenses got ramped up a little late. I think they get started a little bit earlier today. Dustin May, Chris Paddock, on the bump. So 2 pitchers I'm not really fond of. Dustin May has had 2 good starts in a row, but he's still giving up a lot of hits and a lot of hard contact. So Marlins, very good versus righties. So are the Cardinals. I think they do a lot of scoring tonight. So that will be my first official punch in the MLB. My second official punch in the MLB, I'll rock with the Pirates money line at plus 100. Carmen Majinski pitching for the Pirates. He's been very good, very profitable pitcher so far. And the Pirates have won all 4 of his starts. Not a fan of Kumar Rocker pitching for the Rangers. He's sitting around a 4.3 ERA. He's gave up at least 2 runs in all of his starts. I think Pirates still won on the road in game 1 of this series. And my last official punch in the MLB, we're going to rock with the Padres minus the 1.5 runs, traveling to the Rockies. Got this at plus 102. Randy Vasquez, pitcher for the Padres. He has a 2.49 ERA. He's also won all of Padres starts. Padres already have swept the Rockies 3-0, and they're 10-1 in their last 11 games. So Padres, one of the hottest teams in all of MLB. I think they get the job done tonight versus the Rockies, win by 2. So those will be my punches.
Curtis keeping us hot here with the MLB plays. Rock with Philly picks on those. He's very, very heavily into this MLB invested in this MLB season. He's been rocking with a handful of teams, keeping track of both their batting and their pitching. So as you know, Curtis has been making us some money with his punches in the MLB, and we're going to be rocking with him tonight on those. I've got 2 plays, Curtis, I want to add in the NHL tonight. We've got an under. It's an alternate. Kings Avalanche under 6.5 alternate from the set line at 5.5 in the game 1 matchup between these two. As we saw, it was a defensive matchup. Avs winning 2-1 over the Kings. These are 2 sides that are really good defensive sides when they want to be, when they're playing at their best. But Curtis, they up the defensive intensity in close games, and I expect this game to be close. I don't see either one of these teams going up 2 goals at any point really in this series. But I don't see it happening in particular tonight with the Cavs or the Avalanche already up 1-0. I see the Kings playing them very intensely tonight, and I like the under 6.5 in this one for them to keep those goals pretty low. And then the Vegas Golden Knights, they handled the Utah Mammoth in game 1. Looked good on offense, looked good on defense. Goalkeeper looked good as well. I expect them to handle that tonight with this game 2 matchup and to keep that to keep that play up and go up 2-0 in this series. You can catch their money line at minus 155 on that matchup for tonight. Those are all the official punches, Curtis. For me, I believe those are all yours as well. Did you have anything in the NHL? Any jabs for tonight?
No jabs, but I mean, to your point, I look at unders. Playoff hockey gets more physical, and teams aren't scoring as much. The defense kind of ramps up, so I do lean unders to a lot of. That's why you see a lot of 5.5s rather than 6.5s than we're used to seeing. So,
yeah, play those 5.5s, alter them up to 6.5, parlay a couple of them, get you some plus money, and enjoy some playoff hockey there with us as well here on the Ticket Punchers. Curtis, coming down to the outro of the show, we did get a text on the Game Day Men's Health text line. I don't see anything in the YouTube chat or the Twitter chat, but texter says, Who do you all put Thompson on tomorrow night for the Pistons? Suggs or Banchero? Can Harris or Cunningham guard Banchero and just let him get his? That's a great question. I think you got to throw Thompson.
Oh, you're saying is he asking Asar Thompson defensively who he should guard?
Yeah, who do you put him on for game 2?
Okay. Sorry,
I think you got to go on Banchero with the way that he kind of made it his mission in game 1 to get going early in this series. Clearly, 23 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, but he was efficient as well. Took the correct threes you want him to take. Had a couple bad shots, but had some really, really tough shots as well. I think you got to go Azar on Paulo in this one for game 2, just to kind of give yourself that ability to limit what he does, make somebody else beat you. But I also like the idea of Azar kind of playing Suggs as well and see if you can eliminate those. Suggs took a lot of deep bad threes in that game, and you want him taking those. So this is why we're not coaching, right, Curtis? But what would you say?
I'd agree with you there. My only thing with Asar, he can get a little reachy and foul trouble. So I feel like if he was to get on Banchero, I could see him getting in foul trouble real early. But I mean, at the same time, like Tobias Harris wasn't working as well. So it's like, I mean, which one are we gonna go with? But I'd lean Asar, but you got the bigger staff's gonna have to tell him early, like you got to stay out of foul trouble, don't reach, like just.
Yeah, and my thing is, Curtis, Wendell Carter should not be going for 17, 7, and 5 with one of the most physical presences at center in the NBA and Jalen Duren down low going against him. I know they did a lot of actions. They put Duren in a lot of actions to get him away from Wendell, and then Wendell had the opportunity on second chance baskets and those dump off plays. But I mean, Jalen Duren has to make it his mission to say Wendell Carter is not going to be a threat offensively for them tonight and prevent him from doing so. And then they've just got to communicate better on the help side stuff. You're going up against a team that likes to drive, quit biting on all those fakes out there on the perimeter, stay home, and be ready. But I like that question there on the Game Day Mentel text line. We are coming now to the outro of the show here, Curtis. We've gotten our official punches out there. We appreciate everybody listening. Curtis, let's just give our quick picks for tonight before we get out of here. Who do you have in Lakers Rockets? Who wins?
Give me Rockets, win game 2.
76ers Celtics. We both go Celtics win this one.
Yep, Celtics.
I'll go Lakers in that. I'll go against you. I'll go Lakers. I'll pick my team in the late game. Trailblazers Spurs 8:00. Who you got?
Spurs win a close one.
Line has moved from 10.5 to 11.5. At this point, I really think the Trailblazers can keep it close if Drew Holiday has another game like that, and you can get a little bit more scoring outside of Denny. I'm still going to say the Spurs win, Trailblazers cover. This is going to wrap us up here on the Ticket Punchers. We appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. Shout out to the podcast listeners as well. And Curtis, without further ado, my man, let's go punch those tickets.
Punch those tickets.
All right. And as we are now here routing out to our stream side of the show, Curtis, we gave all of our punches out. Did you have any other dingers you wanted to drop for Dinger Tuesday?
Really, just those two. I didn't have any other leans at the moment.
Sounds good. That's going to wrap us up then.
Let's do it. Let's punch them.
Appreciate you guys listening here in the chat as well. We'll catch you guys.